In this video, we're going to take a look at the basic structure of amides and how we name them using the IUPAC system. Now, just a little refresher. Amides are going to be different than amines. Now, an amine is based off of ammonia. So, for example, if we have NH3, this is ammonia, and if we remove one of these hydrogens, and add a carbonyl, or excuse me, add a carbon group, an alkyl group, then we'd end up with something like this: NH2 and say CH3, where this right here is the alkyl group, and here is the amine. Okay, so together this makes an amine. Now, amide is a little bit different in that instead of being based off of ammonia, it's going to be based off of a carboxylic acid. So here's a very basic carboxylic acid. And with this carboxylic acid, we've got one carbon. And the way that we would name this is it would be methanoic acid. Methanoic acid. And if we're going to change this into an amide is going to be just replacing this OH here, the hydroxyl group, with our nitrogen. Like this. And so this changes this from a carboxylic acid now into an amide. And this amide here would be methanamide. We just changed the ending from oic acid to amide. Now, if we were to add some carbons onto this, like say if we were to add a CH3 on this, now we have two carbons, and instead of methanamide, it would be ethanamide, two carbon atoms on there. And if we added three, it would be propanamide. So now, just for example here, let's go like this, CH3, and then let's just throw another CH3 like this. Okay, so we have a substituent on here now, where we have a methyl group attached onto our propanamide. So this carbon right here, closest to the amine group right here, would be our number one carbon. So this would be 1, 2, 3, like this. And so we would name this one here, 1, 2, be 2-methyl propanamide. 2-methyl propanamide. And this would all be one word. Now, we might have an amide that has more than one alkyl group attached to it. So CH3, CH2, C double bond O, nitrogen, and CH3, like this. Now, in this one here, we have a propanamide, and we have a methyl group attached like this. And how do we name this? Well, when we name this, what we're going to do is we're going to make this like the base or the root of the molecule. Okay, so this becomes propanamide. Propanamide. And then we have the methyl group attached like this off of the nitrogen. So this becomes N like this, coming off of the nitrogen, methyl propanamide. And there'd be no spaces in this. It'd be just one big long word. And if let's try another one here where we have another methyl group coming off like this, like that. If we did something like that, then we would change this here, and it would be N-dimethyl propanamide. amide. All right, now one last thing is we have primary, secondary, and tertiary amines. We have the same thing with amides. And so here is an amide with only one carbon group coming off of it like this. So this one here would be a primary amide. I'm going to say this one would be primary amide. Primary amide. This one here, we have three things coming off of that nitrogen. So this would be a tertiary amide. So tertiary amide, like that. And as you probably guessed, if we removed one of these methyl groups like this, okay, and throwing a hydrogen there like that, now we have two things coming off of that nitrogen and it becomes a secondary amide. All right, so that's the basic structure of amides and some basic naming under the IUPAC system.